What's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Stay safe. I'm a little soaked. It was raining outside. It's raining heat news today, man. Raining heat fodder. I shouldn't say news, but it is draft day. And for those who get to this early, I will be down at the Dolphin Mall today. Vivo, I think, is where the watch party is. But I'll be there on 5-6 WQAM. We'll be streaming live, YouTube and Twitch as well. If you guys want to, myself, Solano, who does, of course, pre and post for the Miami Heat Radio Network or Miami Heat Audio Experience, he will be there with me, and we will be counting down to the Miami Heat's 15th overall pick. So tune in if you can. That'd be really, really cool. In the meanwhile, some news appearing like it is nearing for the Miami Heat, and that is first hit on my phone. I'm not sure who broke the news. I saw many reports on this, but Bam Adebayo, according to multiple reports, looks like he intends / is nearing signing a max extension with the Miami Heat. 3 years, $166 million for Bam Adebayo, the Heat big man. Whether you put him at center, whether you consider him at power forward, wherever the hell that goes, Bam is expected to sign that deal. This will run through the 28-29 season. The years on that for Bam is right here. This is from Keith Smith, 51.2 in 26-27, 55.2 in 28-29, and in 27-28 and 28-29. Just under $60 million, $59.4 million for Bam Adebayo. He points out if Bam would have delayed until next year, it could have been a 4-year extension, and that would have gone to this total, 51, 55, 59, 63 if he had waited a summer. That's, of course, thinking that Bam wouldn't get another extension after that. But this is the interesting one. Had Bam Adebayo delayed and made All-NBA or won Defensive Player of the Year, he could have gotten the 35% supermax, which would have been $59 million, $64.5 million, $69.2 million, $74 million, and $78 million, and that would have gone all the way through the 30-31 season. So now Bam is locked up, and you're talking years where, he's saving the Heat almost $10 million if he would have won those awards this year. So this is a move for him where, of course, listen, you make that kind of money. He's already in the midst of it. He has about 2 years, 72 remaining on his current deal. So you're talking that's $230 and some change that he has for the remainder of his contract. And this is from Tim Reynolds. It says, a person who spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity says that Bam, let's see. It says, Tim reports Bam intends to sign a 3-year, $166 extension when the offseason moratorium is lifted, and that according to a person who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity, and that he can sign the deal on July 6th. So what is that? That's next Friday? Next Friday, I think that is. So, pretty awesome for the Heat. All right, first of all, very, very happy for Bam Adebayo. Deserved. Was the Heat's best player last year. Has been the Heat's second best player throughout the Jimmy Butler era consistently. Has grown offensively, is the best defensive player in the league. To the saps that aren't rooting for Rudy, who aren't voting for Rudy Gobert. And why is this significant? We talked about this the other day with the whole De'Aaron Fox thing, right? Like De'Aaron Fox is, putting off his extension with the Sacramento Kings. Yes, he could possibly sign like Bam could, the big time deal, but he locks himself into the guaranteed money. And not only that, but we'll save the Heat, if he does reach those pinnacles, will save the Heat some cap space for a couple of years. I don't expect this to be the last contract that Bam signs with the Miami Heat, but it's good to know that it is a sign that, the Miami Heat's face of their franchise, the guy who is, the bearer of their culture, does everything, is available, works his ass off, always available for the Heat, does all of the obligations, just everything that they expect from their face of the franchise guy. The guy does and plays his ass off, has grown his game to be even more talented. The only real, I think, questions for Bam now with this roster is the roster construction. And, one of the things that he brings to the table also is he's a very, very popular player. He jokes yesterday on social media with Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson that they tamper with Mikal Bridges. But for Bam, I almost thought that part of it was like kind of a bat signal to the Heat. Like, hey, we gotta start playing the game, clean or dirty, whatever it is. But we got to make sure he's a big attraction. Anytime these star discussions have come together, it's not just playing with Jimmy. A lot of the times it's because you're playing with Bam Adebayo. Going to be there for Team USA. Going to go try and win his second Olympic gold medal. And, just made his first appearance, crazily enough, on the first team all defense. So for the Heat, this is a no-brainer. The fact that Bam doesn't want to delay this and doesn't want to put it off a year, I think just, speaks to his commitment to the organization, because out of everybody in Pat Riley's end of the year press conference, Bam faced no wrath. Bam faced no wrath. And I do think eventually, if the Jimmy Butler era, whenever it goes to, whatever it runs its course through, if it is through the other 3 years of this, with, would, I guess essentially if his contract and Bam's contract congruently, their current contracts run the same length, if you include Jimmy Butler's player option. But now, and if Jimmy gets his extra year, then once Bam's extension, that'll be the last year. But these guys, they've been a hell of a duo. They've been overlooked on by the league. They've been slept on by the league. I know that, and I think anybody who tunes in knows I'm just a big fan of the guy. He's a great player. And I think that the Miami Heat would be stupid not to jump at the opportunity to get to this point where he can sign his contract. I think that Bam, probably knows. He knows how he's felt throughout the organization. I mean, he was named the damn captain this year after Udonis Haslem retired. So I think the question for him, he's got to be sitting here and he's got to be thinking to himself, all right, how do we pick ourselves up as a franchise from watching the Celtics win the championship this year? There's no love lost between Bam and the Celtics in Boston. And there is love there, of course, with Jason Tatum because that's his friend. But I'm sure it, burns his chaps, if that's a term that anybody uses, that he has to watch Jason Tatum parade through his streets with a trophy. And so this, I think, is a good sign if the Heat are going to make any moves, if they are going to go after Donovan Mitchell, they are going to go after whomever, that, hey, whatever happens with Jimmy, Bam is here, Bam is committed, and I think that's a great sign for the Miami Heat. I'm ecstatic that this doesn't appear like it's going to be any drama, as we are here on draft night. This guy is one of the great draft success stories. So it's really a big feather in the cap. There are some reports out there that say, hey, he is there's discussions. The hope is that it gets done, but it's not finalized yet. Obviously, it can't be finalized, I guess, until next week. But the fact that this is out there too, with the uncertainty of Jimmy Butler, I think gives the organization, some look of stability. Although there were some reports to Jimmy Butler that I'll get to in another video. But just for this one, to see this guy go from, middle of the draft pick, which is where the Heat are around tonight, to, Hassan Whiteside's backup, a lob threat, to defensive specialist, to one of the best two-way players in the league, a perennial all-star. It's one of the great, success stories that the organization has had. And just a good all-around dude. And you like to see guys like that get rewarded around the league for sure. And so I'm happy about that news for Bam, and that this whole contract thing isn't going to even be a thing. Not surprised by it. The only thing that would have deterred him, I guess, is if he wanted to go for the All-NBA. But Bam has said this, and I think that he knows this award system sometimes can be real BS. And so for his standpoint, you could go get rewarded with a big-time contract. But let's be real. The guy goes through his career projections. He's going to make an exorbitant amount of money throughout his career. Do you really put your career or maybe guaranteed years? Because think about that. If you're putting off your extension, let's just say something crazy happens, right? Like the worst, injury-wise, and you only have one extra year on your career. Do you really not secure yourself? And who am I relying on? I'm relying on, if I'm Bam Adebayo and I'm thinking about this, I'm going to rely on these dumbass voters who just started voting me first team All-NBA. Hope to hell like they have any thought in their brain. I'm supposed to believe that they're going to make me All-NBA or MVP. Yeah, like no chance, right? So, not no chance, but like, why would you trust them? Why if you're Bam Adebayo, who has talked about how political these awards are, how misinformed, how much they don't know ball, how much they're stat watchers. If you're Bam Adebayo, why would you not lock yourself in to that kind of guaranteed money, and as opposed to a roll of the dice, to get extra tens of millions, but you'll probably get another opportunity down the road once again. So happy for Bam, deserves it. Happy the Heat are going to get this done, it appears, according to multiple reports, and much needed, much necessary move for Miami.